want to thank y'all for coming. This is a wonderful night and especially for 8 people. Would like to start tonight with just a little housekeeping. I would like for everybody to know, number one, the rumor is out, the Hall of Fame's for sale. That's wrong. It is not for sale. It will not be for sale. It's 3 or 4 years ago, our illustrious CEO realized that he needed to do something. He and his wife said, we want this to be perpetual as it is. So they gave the Hall of Fame to the Hall of Fame. And Bob Myrick, Bill Drew up new bylaws, and it is the Hall of Fame, and it will be the Hall of Fame, and it'll be the same people until some of us kick off. They did a wonderful job. Thank you, Carolyn, for your generosity. Carolyn Hedrick. Carolyn, stand up. She is standing. Chick had a vision, and he saw things, and he did a lot of things, and he was a lot of our mentors, and that was one of the greatest things he ever did. And we will miss him, our CEO. I would like to start out by, oh, by the way, we're going to have a website. We're coming into the 21st century. There will be a Shag Attack and a Hall of Fame website. I understand the Shag Attack Hall of website is up. You can, it's got a application, it's got everything. We're still going to send the applications out, but we felt like we needed to do those things. And the Hall of Fame, Shaggers Hall of Fame, it will be shaggershalloffame.org, shagattack.org. It should be up in a month and a half or 2 months. We're working on it right now, and there'll be pictures, there'll be everything. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Some of us look as bad as we did back then. I would like to recognize, and we're going to take a second when I do this because we've never had a picture of the executive board together. We got some of Bob in very funny situations. We got some of Bill, but he was standing on his head. And I'm not going to talk about mine. They're a lot worse. Roger doesn't drink, so we had nothing on him.
I do.
Naturally. But I would like to introduce our executive board, and this is who's going to be running things. So if you got suggestions, comments, please pass them on to these guys. First of all, there's myself. Oh. Bob Myrick, Esquire. Bobby, stand up. Come down here. We're going to take a picture right there. My partner, Mr. Roger Burroughs. And of course, our new member, Mr. Bill Drew. Bill took Speedy Lewis's position. Speedy's health was not, Speedy did a fantastic job for us for so many years, but he felt like that he was ready to step down. So he did so, and Bill has done a fantastic job for us so far, and we're tickled to death with it. So we're going to take a picture.
This is the best you'll see them dressed till next year. both have him on microphone. There's going to be trouble
Take
tonight.
charge woman, you know. She will jump on that bump. She's good though. That's the first one we've ever had taken. I hate we did not do that a year ago, 2 years ago, because we do miss our chairman, our CEO, our leader, the guy that made this thing go and wanted it to be right, Mr. Chick Hedrick. And that's the part I didn't think I'd get through. Okay, we have, of course, our regular board. And I would like for you to stand where you are. And I know that some of you are here, so you better stand up. Charlie Womble is on a cruise, so I know he's not here. But Charlie's one of our board members. John Till, I know, is here. Where's Johnny? Stay up. By the way, he got me today for the first time. Or was it yesterday? Anyway, he got me. We have Don Bryant, and I know he's here. Don Bryant. Judy Eastwood, where are you, baby? Right here. She takes care of our membership. She takes care of the door. She takes care of so many things. She's gotten 1,000 phone calls in the last 6 hours. Did I pay? Can I come? But thank you, Judy. You do a wonderful job. Fantastic. Marilyn Burry. Stand up, Marilyn. A little bit handles the parade, and she does a fantastic job. And it's a hard job because our people, when they get our letter, they don't respond.
That's right.
So she has no clue who's going to show up and ride in the parade. Please, if you can, come ride in the parade. But do respond. Let us know. And we'll have you a sign there. If you need a convertible, she'll ask you that. Can you get one? Please get one if you can. But thank you very much. You do a wonderful job. Yeah. After the parade in the spring, we dance at Harold's. We used to dance in the fall, and that's up in the air right now, but anybody that can dance, any of the Hall of Famers that can dance, it's fantastic. If you've never done it, please come do it, because it is more fun than you can believe. And I get to go around and talk trash about you while you're dancing. But please come and dance. We dance at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, you need to be there by 3:30, so Wanda will have time to do her miracle and come up with the list. And of course, the last one is this winch right here.
And I can be. I'm still on prednisone.
She's my partner. She keeps me straight. That's her number one job. Her second job is being secretary. She also sends a tremendous amount of information to everybody. And we do appreciate it so much. Everything you do.
My favorite thing to tell people is Tom Barano said, "I hope I'm never in your subject line."
That's true. We have a special, very special guest, somebody that has supported this dance worked hard for us, looks after us. When we need something, we go to her. She's one of the most beautiful ladies you've ever seen. Our mayor, Marilyn Hadley. And I know she's here. Where are you, baby? There she is. What a mayor. She loves to dance, and she supports us in every way. Is Harold Worley here? Well, I didn't think I'd seen him, but he is one of our county councilmen, and he owns this joint that houses us. So he does a good job for us, and we do appreciate it. And the last, Miss Carolyn Hedrick comes in here at 11:30 to 12 o'clock and makes this place look like we want to come in. And she puts tablecloths and puts the flowers and does all the things. She does all the decorating with a little staff. Carolyn, stand up. Thank you. The people that helped her this year, and it's mostly the same people every year, but I'd like to recognize them if they will stand. Sherry Strickland. Where's Sherry? Slim. Peggy Burris. Jeannie Pack. Thank you, Jeannie, darling. Phyllis Tiller. Thank you, Phil. Monsieur Thomas. Mary Lynn Myrick. She just got that Pug Wallace Intergalactic.
That means she drinks a lot.
She only had a couple a day. But that was deserved. And of course, Gail Roberts. Where's Gail? Little short girl over here. Precious. Thank you. Would like to thank those people for helping us. I'd also like to recognize our DJs. We have 2 tonight. On normal occasions, we only have 1. But on this occasion, it takes 2 to get all this stuff coordinated and put together, and everybody's changing this and changing that. So we have 2. One that's been with us for 18, 20 years. He's a Hall of Fame disc jockey, Mr. Sid Pruitt. Last 2 years, we've had another Hall of Famer in the disc jockey world, Mr. Tootie Browne. Can't beat those 2. Can't beat them. Originally, from day one, Jim Davis has been the disc jockey for tonight. Jim has been under the weather. I mean, he's really had some problems. And Jim missed last year. He's missed this year. But I talked to him, and he hopes to be back next year. He's coming along strong, so please keep him in your prayers.
Tonight, we're going to get the Hall of Famers to dance next. And I have to divide y'all into 2 separate groups because it ends up being a little crowded on the dance floor. So anyone whose last name starts with A, and I'm going through like Jane Jacobs, do dance for the Hall of Famer. If husband and wife aren't in the Hall of Fame, get another Hall of Famer and Sid's gonna play some music, so y'all get ready to come out and dance for a couple of minutes, however long he decides to play it. So we'll start. Y'all know what your last name starts with, so that's the easiest way for me to do it rather than trying to get. If you can't figure it out, don't come on the floor. So you can dance with Andy this time, Sherry. I mean, I know it's 2 different letters, but y'all can dance in this group. But we are going to separate into 2 groups, so y'all come on out on the floor. He'll be playing the music, and nobody will be here. Don Bunn, I think Judy Eastwood wanted to dance with you. Don and Sandra, do y'all feel like dancing? O'Neill, you would be one of them.
Don't be bashful, guys. Hell, y'all in the Hall of Fame. Let's rock and roll.
Get on out here. And comes that bad Ken Carter and Debbie Wilson. Now that was our first little group. We need to get all the Hall of Famers who did not dance in this group to get out on the floor now. And Sid will play another song. That would be some of y'all still starting with J through Z. comes Boomer Reeves.
Okay, the next part of the program is something very special. It is our Keepers of the Dance. And the person that knows the most about that is a Hall of Famer. He is on the executive board, and he is chairman of the Keepers of the Dance. And he's done a phenomenal job bringing it really to the forefront. Mr. Bob Myrie, Esquire.
Thank you, Sam, Wanda, board members, and anybody's got anything to do with all this stuff. Thank you, thank you. It's always my pleasure every year to introduce the new Keepers of the Dance. And I'm not going to go through a lot of history because I think everybody in here probably knows a little bit about the Keepers. But this is our 15th year of doing the Keepers of the Dance. So when you think about that, we're rolling right along. Just a little history. It started in 1998, and it was kind of the brainchild of, God bless him, Chick Hedrick. Carolyn, he did a good thing. You know he did. And we have done everything we could to bring it along. Now, he had some help over the years, and a lot of instrumental people have helped him. But it was a great idea, and it was to honor the junior shaggers, or the people that have danced the junior shag, the young people. And it's kind of the Junior Hall of Fame, if you will. And we honor each year a male and a female dancer who has danced the junior shag, and they have continued to represent the dance with good character, good reputation, and continuing to contribute each and every year. Now, you can't be a junior shagger and become a keeper of the dance. It's after your junior shagging years, and you actually have to be at least 25 years old to become a keeper. Now, most of our keepers are a lot older than that, believe me. But anyway, God bless Chick and all the people that came before me and this committee that thought of the young people, because they're our future, and they're the ones that keep it alive. So, without a whole lot of ado, I want to say one or two other things. I'm going to introduce the committee to you, and I think most of them are here tonight except Mr. Bill Barber. We have a committee that meets each year when the Hall of Fame committee meets, and we pick by committee the keepers for that year. And the committee consists of, in case you want to politic them or worry the hell out of them, the committee consists of, I'm the chairman, and you can't politic me because, believe me, I've been politic before, and I'm a lawyer. We don't get politic, we do the politicking. So, anyway, Mr. Bill Barber is not here tonight. He had another engagement. He's working, and he has been instrumental in keeping this thing together. He's kind of our secretary, and he gets everything out for us each year. Sam McIntosh, committee member. Miss Susan Neal. I believe Mr. Barry Thigpen's here. He doesn't know much about the shag. I don't know why we'd have him on the committee. And my lovely bride, Miss Mary Lynn Myrick. And a few years ago, we decided to put a keeper on the committee so we could kind of keep up with the keepers. So I don't know whether Matt's here tonight or not, but Matt Free is the keeper committee member. And he's done a wonderful job. He really has. A few things that the keepers have done over the years is of course they represent the shag as young people, and we put their pictures and their bios up each year down at Harold's in what we call Keeper's Corner in the back room at Harold's. And anybody wants to see anything about these kids, go over there and look at those pictures and bios, just like you go out here in the lobby of the hotel and look at the Hall of Fame pictures and bios. We started 3 years ago having an annual shag contest, and it was by the generosity of sponsors, local businesses up and down Main Street and here at North Myrtle Beach. And we wanted to have a Keepers of the Dance weekend and a big shag contest. And we have it at Harold's every year in February. And it's just before, it's the same weekend every year. It's going to be the 8th and 9th this year, February. I believe the 7th and 8th, 8th and 9th. But the important part is not when it is. The important part is local businesses give to this for the prize money. And the Hall of Famers, congratulations to you guys, because I don't know that I've ever called a Hall of Famer for a contribution that they haven't given it to me for the Keepers of the Dance. So you give yourselves a hand. We raise a lot of money each year, and fortunately or unfortunately, we give a good portion of it to the dancers because it is the best and the brightest and the coolest come out. It is a hell of a dance contest. I've even had Barry Thigpen, who has the granddaddy of all contests, as you well know, the Nationals, to tell me, how you get all them people down? How you have all this yelling and screaming? And I say, Barry, it's a shag joint, and that's what you got to have a contest. But they do a great job every year, and what's left over, we'll always make a contribution in the name of the keepers to the Hall of Fame Foundation. So we've sent a healthy check each year from the Keepers of the Dance to the Hall of Fame Foundation to help people that are in trouble, needy, or the things that the Hall of Fame Foundation does. So I'm very proud of the keepers for that. And it's in February. If I call you for a contribution, send me money and come on out there. Come on out there in February. I would like to ask all the keepers, if you're here, anybody here, anybody's a keeper now, come forward. I always get the keepers up here to help me induct the new keepers. And if we hadn't gotten it here, I'm really, really going to be pissed. You guys just have a seat right there. Come on out, don't hide. You guys give them a hand. These people are the best, I'm telling you. Okay, without a whole lot of further pomp, circumstance, and all of that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this year's keepers. The first one, we always do ladies first. And this young lady was born in Lexington, North Carolina. She began ballet and tap dancing at age 2.5. At age 11, her dad insisted that she started shagging, taking shag lessons. She began doing that at the boat dock in Southmont, North Carolina, with Wanda and Johnny Bass as instructors. She later got instruction from Cy Creed, who's a keeper, and that was at the jukebox in High Point, North Carolina. She competed in her first shag contest in the Nationals at age 13. She continued to dance and be taught and influenced by a few people that know a little bit about the shag: Shad and Brenda Alberti, Susie Beaver, and Dana Browne. After several years of competition, she decided she needed to go to school, so she went to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and she became a communications major with a minor in dance. Actually, she taught shag at the Fred Astaire Dance School in Greensboro. She trained in ballroom, she danced professionally in ballroom, and she instructed in ballroom. Finally, in 2008, she decided she needed to get back to the shag floor. So she got a partner, and she entered the National Shag Dance Championships. And by cracking, she won the non-pro division. So she is a non-pro national champion. She became a member of the National Shag Dance Championship dance team. She now resides in Greensboro, North Carolina with her husband and her new young son, Colin. And she continues to shag and have a good time. Brandy Collins Lunsford, come on up.
Wow. A little overwhelming being up here, but it's been a whirlwind year. Thank you to the Keepers Committee. Thank you to everyone for this. I guess having my first child this year, I thought nothing could top that. This is fun too. I want to say a special thank you to my mother for logging all the miles, driving me back and forth to many, many dance lessons and many, many dance contests and many, many dance practices. I want to say a special thanks to my dad, who, rest in peace, Daddy, would love to be here, but he can't, and he would be very proud at this moment. I want to say a special thank you to my cousin Melissa, because she came out, and a special thank you to Casey for coming out and dancing with me again, because that was tough. But glad to be here, and hope to keep dancing for many years to come. Thank you.
Maybe I assume you're going to be dancing with Casey. Well, she won a national championship with him, so Brandy Collins Lunsford and Casey Little.
You know that if you break it, my poor heart is gonna die.
Yeah. You reckon the Shaggers in good hands, folks? She just had a baby. Can you believe that? Gee. Anyway, I want one little housekeeping thing before I do this next, gentleman. Sam mentioned the website. Well, you know, we learned from the kids. The keepers have had a website a whole lot longer than the Hall of Fame and Shag Attacks had a website. We got a great website up, and if you go to the keepers' website, it's keepersofthedance.org, I hope, if I screw that up. But anyway, I think I said, it's up, you can find it, Keepers of the Dance, and hit com or net, you'll come up with it. And there's a link from Keepers to Hall of Fame, and a link from Keepers to the Foundation, Hall of Fame Foundation, a link from Keepers to Shag Attack, and all of them are linked together, so you hit a little button if you, I usually get Mary Lynn to do it because I don't know much about that stuff. And you can go to all of them and find out what's going on. But I wanted to tell you that, and you can see all the bios and all the faces and accomplishments and achievements of all the keepers, just like you're going to be able to do for the Hall of Fame. As soon as Bill Drew gets, you know, he'll get it done. Anyway, next young man, or the young man of the night, he was born in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was introduced to the shag at age 14. He didn't particularly want to take shag lessons at the time, but his father persuaded him. His father said, "Boy, you'll thank me for this one day." You reckon? And so he started taking them. He went to Chantilly's Beach Club and near Carolina Beach and started taking shag lessons and fell in love with the music and the dance. And he ended up dancing in 1993 on a program called Ocean Drive Live, which is a weekly televised shag contest on ABC TV. Competed in his first junior shag contest in 1993 with a young lady who's also a keeper of the dance, Miss Leslie Melton Jennings, and had a good partner. He danced in contests for a while and as a teenager, and he was especially influenced by some pretty good dancers, one of them being Cy Creed, if you guys know anything about Cy. He became a national shag dance champion in 2010 in the non-pro division, and he danced with another keeper of the dance, Cameron Davis. They're national champions since 2010. He's a two-time member of the National Shag Dance Championship dance team. He's judged contests all over everywhere, from the Grand Nationals to the Nationals to local contests. Knows a lot about the shag, and he's a great dancer. He's a graduate of the University of North Carolina in Wilmington. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in public administration. He's chosen a career in law enforcement. And when you see him down here at the beach drinking and dancing, you say, "This guy's a cop?" Anyway, he loves to dance. He's a fine, fine young man and a great, great person. Alan Stokes, come on up, Alan.
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank Bob for all that you've done in bringing this together, making a special night for Brandy and I, and Mary Lynn too. Because I know you're not a one-man show, so I know Mary Lynn had a lot to do with it. But when I started dancing, a lot of the keepers of the dance, well, folks that are keepers now, were already burning up the dance floor, and they're the ones that I look to and learned from and really respected and admired their dancing. So to join them tonight is really special. And to all the keepers, just a wonderful group of people on and off the dance floor. And I really respect all of them, and it means a lot to join their group. When I started taking shag lessons, as Bob mentioned, I didn't really want to do it. I don't know a lot of 14-year-old guys that want to take dance lessons. but I did, and I'm glad that I did, and it's probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And I couldn't imagine my life had I not taken shag lessons. It's brought a lot of things into my life. The dance itself, I love it. It's a great time, and I love doing it, but it goes far beyond that. It introduced me to the music, the greatest music that was ever recorded. And I don't care if I didn't hear anything else but jump blues for the rest of my life. And with that, the people that it brought into my life. A whole new family, really, of people that are some of the greatest people I've ever met, and lifelong friends. And some of the keepers, we still continue to get together. I mean, I know every March and every September at least, or every April and every September at least, we're going to come together and we're going to have a good time. And my friends that don't shag don't have that, so that's really special to me. But I definitely want to thank the Keepers Committee. I want to thank the Hall of Fame for what you've done for the Keepers and what you continue to do for the Keepers. I want to thank my family for their support, because you can't be a junior shagger if you don't have support from your family. You can't even drive. And just to everyone, and I don't have anything written down, so I know I would leave people out, but to everyone who has taught me what they know about the shag, again, on and off the floor, it's not just the dance, it's the lifestyle. And I really appreciate what everyone has done for me and continues to do. At 1:30 this morning, I'm in the bar learning some new shag moves from a Hall of Famer. And it doesn't get any better than that. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'm honored to be in the Keepers.
Alan, let me ask you something. I think I know who you're going to dance with. You're going to dance with your first dance partner, is that right? Leslie Melton Jennings. Okay, now, well, wait a minute. We got one little thing. Alan is the king of the flyback, y'all. You know, he can outdance all of us old people, but what he can't do is outdrink and dance all of us old people. So he's over at the Pirates Cove doing SOS, and he's trying to show Ron Horton how to do a flyback. Well, he's got a drink in his hand, and he get this little number here with the flyback deal, and his feet went one way and his body went the other. The drink went all over everywhere. So it comes out on Facebook the next day. And Mike Pace looks at it. Mike called me, he said, Bob, said, you know, that's a dancing young man, but he's got to learn to drink and dance at the same time. So anyway, this is the king of the flyback, so we're going to see if he can do a flyback. Sid, hold on just a minute. I got some judges that wanted to check him out to see if he could do a flyback. What do you think, Liv?
I bossed him around when I was 8 years old.
Leslie said she can make him do one, so. Look, you ain't got to worry about me. I can't dance like the rest of these people. You got to worry about Pace and Young and Teal and Milton over there. All right, son. Alan Stokes and Leslie Melton Jennings.
Now you walk down the street
in your hand.
Baby, yes, I am. Now your eyes may shine, your teeth may grit, but down around man you'll never get Pamela help. Pamela help. I'm in love with you, baby.
Alan and Leslie, folks. Let's have a big hand for all the keepers. Monty, you guys stay right there for 1 second. Monty, get out there. Everybody gather in. Monty's going to take a picture of the ones that are here. Alan, get down there. You guys, get down. You're a keeper. Get down there. Get down there. Get down there. Yeah, take it. The hell yeah, you need to. Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you, keepers. Big hand with the keepers, y'all. Turn it back over to Miss Wanda and Mr. Sam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is a perpetual organization. Chick Carolyn made sure of that 3 years ago with new bylaws. It's perpetual. It's going to go on and on and on. These kids are going to keep coming, and they are fantastic. I want to make sure Stegall knows he picked up some steps there, and he's going to do those later. Each year, we hold this thing and we breathe new life into our organization by bringing in our new inductees. But we must not forget ever that we lose some of our biggest and brightest stars each year. This is no exception. This past year, we lost Harry Oliver, one of the best, Bobby Griffin. And of course, the one that chokes me up is our CEO, a boogie woogie king from the day one, Mr. Chick Henry. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to give y'all a chance to go get a drink, and somebody's got a tinkle, I know, in here. So, 3 records. No more, no less. It's 3 records. And then we're going to come back and keep this thing rolling. So thank you very much. Take a 3-record break.
Well, Sam said it would be a 3-record break, and it will be. It's over, but I'm next to talk anyway, so Roger's gone out to try to find Sam. One thing, I haven't even talked to any of the executive board to say this, but something I just would like to clear up with anybody that doesn't understand that the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame Foundation are 2 separate entities. So when you send a donation, it goes to Hall of Fame Foundation. That's the one that helps people. Hall of Fame has nothing to do with Hall of Fame Foundation. So I just would like for people to know that, to know they're not sending money to Hall of Fame. And as most of you know, you don't have to be a shagger to ask for any help. They've helped a lot of people who are not shaggers, but you do have to have someone who is an officer in the Shag Club or a Hall of Famer to sign the application. So I just wanted to clear that up. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm going to start with our first female inductee now. Here's Sam. This was a little country girl. She was born in the country and moved to Charlotte in junior high. She hung out at the local swimming pool and watched high school boys dance. As a lifeguard, Maggie Williams taught her the basic. She enjoyed times at Park Center dancing with Donnie Christenberry, Morrisville, and Shad Alberti. She did the hot spots at OD, dancing on beach trips. Garinger High School had a jukebox and she danced during lunch. I didn't have that at my school. During one of her beach trips, she met Eddie. He asked her to dance, and the rest is history on that. She's probably been married to him too long. He went into the Air Force, and then they got married in late 1993. They hadn't been married that long. I think it was 83. Maybe I made a mistake on my typing here. Or maybe it was 53. They have 2 sons, Michael and KC, and 5 grandchildren. They came to OD to stay in 2003. She is a living legend and a Charlotte Hall of Famer. She's held 2 offices in the OD Shag Club and the OD Pavilion Social Shag Club. Please welcome this lovely lady that doesn't seem to age, Miss Brenda Clark. She's going to be dancing with 3 men, so it's only these 3 men, so we don't want any cut-ins from anyone else.
After seeing these keepers of the dance, I'm like, do you want me to follow? I'm like, they are incredible. First of all, I want to thank who, without him, none of this would be possible. Thank you for all your blessings. The blessings of family and all of mine are here tonight, and I am so happy. Our 2 handsome sons, William, Michael, and Christopher Lynn, better known as Michael and Casey, who, through your blessings, have had people intertwine in their lives, making them responsible husbands and fathers, of which we are so proud. Their wives, Deborah and Julie, both who are equally as beautiful on the inside as they are on the outside. And 5 of the greatest grands you ever put on this earth. Caitlin, Laney, Taylor B., Sia Rose, and last but not least, Benjamin Christopher Clark, better known as Bennels, our one and only grandson who is all boy from sunrise to sunset. The blessing of allowing me to live in this wonderful place where I can still dance with the love of my life at the OD Pavilion where we met when we were teenagers. And as he always says when people ask how many years we've been married, if we make it to December 28th this year, it will be 49. The blessings of friends, of which we left so many in Charlotte when we moved in 1999, and the dear, dear ones we have made here in North Myrtle. The blessings of being able to maintain the Charlotte friendships and continue to enrich both through the clubs, music, and dance. The blessings of the great music we call beach and the wonderful dance we call the shag. The blessing of the very special person who nominated me oh so many, many years ago, and the voting members who have recognized me with this incredible honor. the blessing of a great board of directors who keep the Hall of Fame operating now, and for those who will continue for years and years to come. And most of all, your blessing of love. I love you all. Now, if you will allow me to dance tonight with my chosen partners that I feel best represent my shag journey, my pops, my brother, and the love of my life.
The second person that we're honoring tonight is an individual that's very special in many ways. He's not with us tonight. He's only with us in our wonderful memories. If you look at the screens, you'll see who I'm talking about. He, when he was voted, I know those people sitting in that room didn't know he was so ill in the spring. I don't think it would have mattered, but you know, he was just one fine gentleman, and he was voted in, and he's the second person that we know of. Well, he's the second person that's deceased before. John Lewis started dancing when he was 6 years old. He moved to Charlotte. He was in Florida, but he moved to Charlotte and kept on dancing. And he found all the hot spots. He loved to dance at every joint with anybody to hold his hand. But his favorite place was Groucho's. That's where I got to know him. Excuse me. He was a great guy. He loved the people. He was a great dresser. I mean, he was the Billy Wingate, the Jimmy Dingler, whatever. He just liked to dress. He was Bob Myrick. He had a little of all of us in him. So I'm just tickled to death that he was selected. I just hate that he did not make it. Nobody knew he was so ill. But, you know, the biggest thing he did was make people laugh. He loved the people. He made people laugh. He met his wife at Ducks. What a lady. And they became one of the most popular couples on this beach in North Carolina, in South Carolina. He's just a piece of work. Jan, I'm telling you, we don't know what to, we just don't know what to think. But the one thing I think of is the laughter and flamingos. John loved flamingos. So next time you see a flamingo, think of our friend John, because he did love them. Jan, would you please come forward and receive the plaque for John?
I'm here to represent my husband, John Lewis, who died in May. You may already know some things about John. You probably know that he loved women, especially Judy Mathis, and that he married a few of them, but I was the last one. You probably know, as Sam said, that he loved good clothes and a glass or two or three of good wine. Yeah. You probably know that he was a golf fanatic. He drove his dear friend Nick Mathis crazy to get into a golf game. And then he drove all his golf gang crazy on the course. But I thank you for allowing him to continue to play. I appreciate, excuse me. You probably know that he had an unusual style of dancing and was even known to roll around on the floor in ducks with Marie Taylor. Larry and I ignored it, but they did it anyway. And you probably know that while he had that wonderful laugh, he could be a little bit cranky. He adored Sandra Bryant, and so she could get away with calling him Mr. Grumpy to his face. And on the outside chance that you've never seen a John Lewis fit, Phyllis Tiller does a perfect imitation of him and could always make him laugh at himself. Yeah. She could buy me a little extra time. But there are things you don't know about John. You don't know that he learned to buck dance, which is a kind of clogging, when he was 6 years old. And for the next 75 years, he danced. You don't know that he was voted best dancer at Central High School in Charlotte in 1946. Many of us weren't even born then. And you don't know that for the last 7 years of his life, he fought 3 kinds of cancer, a cerebral hemorrhage, strokes, Alzheimer's, and that terrible dementia. And we would go to the hospital and have surgery or radiation or chemo, and invariably, on the way home from the hospital, he would turn to me and say, "We need to go to the beach and dance a little bit." And we would, and he'd feel better. John loved this beach, this music, especially the slow, sexy stuff, this dance, and he loved being with you. He was thrilled to be selected for membership in the Hall of Fame, And I thank you for giving him that joy at a very difficult time in our lives. On John's behalf, I thank the Hall of Fame for this tremendous honor and for the work that you do in preserving and promoting the dance and honoring the people who do it. And I know that John would want me to remind all of you, always, go to the beach and dance a little bit. Thank you.
What a guy. What a guy. One thing I didn't mention, Bob forgot to mention a while ago, we have a charity that is having a, raising money for education, for a number of things. And we have one of our keepers that was sitting up here a while ago that is one of the celebrities that's dancing in it. I mean, he is one heck of a dancer. William Green. Where's Willie? Dancing with the Stars. And that's what they're calling it. And we appreciate that. No, he's not shagging. He's doing a different dance, and so we'll see how this works out. Argentine tango. Hey, these kids can do anything, and he's still a kid. I mean, he's 40, but he's a kid. He's 35. 35.
Mary Lynn's not that old to have a 40-year-old.
That's right. ML couldn't have a 40-year-old. I got a 40-year-old. Before I go into my Foster Brooks, I want to turn it back to Wanda.
We get to take turns a little bit. My microphone keeps going off, and I think Sam's doing it. Trying to cut me off.
Best I can.
This next lovely lady is from a small town in North Carolina. Her two older sisters danced and would let her tag along. On Myrtle Beach family vacations, her sister's boyfriend would dance with her at the pavilion. They went to Kannapolis to Jerry's Lounge, and that is where she met Mike Osborne. No relation though to her. He liked one of her sisters, so he visited their home and taught and practiced with her. They would go to joints with sis and dance and stop the crowd. She learned from one of the best. She danced at some great places in the home area, but her heart was at the beach, so she moved here as soon as possible. Dancing at all of the great places all around, she had a life of dance and elegance. She has had a life of dance and elegance. She's from a little town originally in Coolamy, North Carolina. So would Dreamer Osborne please come up, and we welcome you to the Shaggers Hall of Fame.
Got a pretty fanny, too.
First of all, I'm a little nervous. As I am just so thankful to be here. I don't know if everybody knows, but I am a two-time cancer survivor. So I thank my Lord Jesus Christ for allowing me to be here. I'm just so thankful, and I lost my dad a few years ago, who was the love of my life. And he always encouraged me. When I was a little girl, we'd go out and he would make me dance in front of everybody. And he used to enter me and one of my best friends up there, Gail Blanton Simpson, in dance contest, and he would get mad when we came in second. But I am just blessed to have my lovely sister here. I have a wonderful family, and I am now including in another wonderful family of the best friends and dancers that I've ever known. God bless you all. God bless Harvey for dancing with me tonight. And God bless my Vicky over there. And last but not least, God bless my Cindy Simmons for introducing me or nominating me into the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much.
She had to go get Harvey.
Just watch the smoke rings rise in the air, and I know you'll find your share of memories there. So dream when the day is through. Dream, and they might come true, and things never are as bad as they seem. So dream, 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 dream when you're feeling blue. And oh, dream, that's the thing to do. And just watch the smoke rings rise in the air. And I know you'll find your share of memories there. So dream, dream when the day is through.
Hi, Dreamer. Dreamer. Dreamer.
Draymond.
You want the plaque? We'll keep it if you don't want it.
Yeah, let me get up here, Carol. I'm not here.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And smiling. Work for Smiling. 3 years. 3 years he came down here and did that. God bless him. His idol in dancing while he was down here learning this stuff, because he had to learn it, was Jimmy Dinkler, and there's no greater idol. He learned from some of the greatest during the late 50s and just hung around all the joints and became a fantastic dancer. He went to NC State. He got several degrees there, one from state and one from the scrambled dog. He competed in the 70s, late 70s. And, well, it could have been early, but we don't know about that. But the late 70s, he competed. And what was amazing, he never had a permanent, regular partner. He'd jump in any contest with anybody who would hold his hand. And he did very well. He moved away and was out of our world for a little while, but then back to our world he came, dancing and doing contests again. As soon as he got back, he'd jump into mixed doubles. Well, he never had a regular contest partner, so he really had an advantage. And he's done very well, won several of them, and I'm very proud of him. He has a lovely bride that a lot of you probably don't know, Frederica, better known as Freddie. And if you hadn't met her, you need to, because she is a total pleasure. She supported him and backed him in this, and we're just so glad he's back. His kids are here, Josie and Walker. And you know what? They go to state. God bless them. Would Tommy Shimon, my man Tom, please come forward?
Doesn't he look spiffy?
How y'all doing? I'm glad to see y'all. I was afraid the place would be empty when I got here. I had to type all this out, and I put the font so big that it actually came into 2 pages, but I don't have that much to say. I just couldn't see it otherwise. And I'll just start off saying, I literally never, ever thought about this day arriving. It was just simply not something I was focused on. I love to dance. I love the music. This is 1957, my first year on the beach. Hello. All right, you got it. I don't know, I guess you heard what I said. I'm not going to repeat it. I so enjoyed all the people who've been a part of sustaining and perpetuating the dance and the music. Well, now here I stand some 55 years later. I'm 70 years old. And good golly, Miss Molly, isn't it great to see all these young dancers? Give them some, all right? Give them some love. I mean, I don't mean 40-year-olds. I mean these 20-year-old dancers. That's awesome. The music, the dance, the kids, and the friends, those are the rewards for me. Figuratively speaking, I don't think I've touched earth but a few times since this past St. Patty's Day, and that was Saturday night of Shag Attack 2012. March 17, 2012, to be exact, and approximately 11:23, not that I was counting. That, of course, was the announcement evening of the 2012 Shaggers Hall of Fame inductees. 8 more names to be forever etched into the history of shag dancing, a history which embodies such great and wonderful yet memories of those past as current future dancers. The Shaggers Hall of Fame, and now I am one. Joining the legends I grew up with that were already mentioned, Jimmy Dingler, Sleepy Timmerman, Smiley Campbell, Worry Smith, One Lung, JoJo, Domer, Spider, and Shad. I extend warm and heartfelt thanks to all who coordinate the task of selecting the inductees for the Shaggers Hall of Fame, I greatly appreciate those who lobbied and voted for my induction. But I would be remiss if I did not specifically recognize Sarah Coleman and Danny Bean, who 2 years ago encouraged me to dust off my shagging shoes after they've been retired almost 25 years. And I thank you. I'm also thrilled my wife, Freddie, my son, Walker, my daughter, Josie, my sister, Beverly, and her husband, Jim, my sister-in-law, Marion, my college classmate, Rodney Edge, could attend this once-in-a-lifetime occasion for me. Life comes in seasons. Some you enjoy, and some you will only survive. But there is beauty in all of it. Practice thankfulness and compassion until it is truly part that faded out. I am humbled and honored to be one of the Shaggers Hall of Fame 20 inductees.
Thank you, Tom.
And just before I have to take the floor, I've got one thing to say. If I'm ready to take the floor,
You go ahead and say what you want to say.
this ain't saying. This is going to try to say something with all due respects to Willie Nelson. To all the girls with whom I've danced before, who've come and gone off the floor. To me, you are the best. To that I will attest. So let's dance some more.
All right. And Tommy's going to start off with his wife, Reddy, then his daughter, Josie, and then Susan Neal, me, and y'all know I hadn't danced in a while, Pee Wee Till, and Linda Squires.
Sounds like he's feeling himself. What a gentleman. What character. What style.
I don't ever dance anymore, and I'm out of breath now. Sam has an inhaler up here, and I think I might have to use it. This next lady grew up outside of Raleigh in a small town called Zebulon. She's been dancing ever since she was in the 8th grade, where she went into the Dairy Queen in Zebulon, not your typical Dairy Queen. They had a dance floor there. This is where I believe she first danced with Tommy. They married in 1966. See, I got the year right this time. That was 45 years ago. They both went on and got their degrees, and in 1970, their beautiful daughter Jessica was born. They attended a shag contest in Southern Pines and found that they were just destined to compete then. Lots of practice, and they went almost every weekend to a contest. That's when Norman and I were competing too. I think that they hold the record though for the most contests in a year. They fast became close friends with all the other competitors, and we all did that. You know how it is, you all get to be one big family. They decided to quit competing in 1985 since their daughter Jessica was a competing junior golfer on the national and international level. She and Tommy participated in a Christian mission in Mexico for the past few years. And I would like to say I'm the one that got them to go to San Miguel de Allende. They didn't want to go because they'd been to all these Mexican towns on the coast. Finally got them to go, and they ended up building a house down there. Have sold it now because it was too much, 6 months in, 6 months out. And I think the drugs now, not them, Mexico. They have made a difference in many lives. She's a beautiful lady and dancer. And I'm certainly glad to be talking about Miss Connie Wood, who is a great friend.
Thank you, Wanda, and good evening. And Tommy Shipman, I want to say to you, wherever you are, you're a hard act to follow, dress-wise, speech-wise, and otherwise. And I might say to Wanda, she stole some of my thunder as well. But on that hot summer evening in August of 1983, Tommy and I made a very casual decision to go to a dance contest in Southern Pines. It was a SPA contest. We had no idea what that meant, but we thought we would go. Well, not only did we go, but we entered, and the game was on. And forward, we danced and danced and danced, and got involved in what became one of the most wonderful lifestyles that we have ever known. And as I reflect back on those 29 years, as I look through that window of time, one thing resonates very, very loud and clear, and that is friendship and love. And you know, I've had a lot of time since March to think about this, and all of a sudden it dawned on me. We use shag as the vehicle to get us to that love and that friendship. And I thank each and every one of you for that. Thank you very much.
And I guess you're dancing with Tommy. No, you can go dance with Tommy and then come get your plaque.
What a couple. Come on up here, Donna. Tommy, if she had known you were going to change clubs, she would have worn a boa. Okay, we got a few more. And I know he's sitting over there waiting, but he's not next. He was born in Raleigh, but moved to Aurora, in eastern North Carolina. His parents put him into a dance class, and he had problems with that because his buddies gave him a hard time, but he's very glad that he stuck with it today. He and his sister would watch teenage dance programs on TV. And he became a pretty good dancer because his mom was a good dancer and taught him. He went to all area joints. He boogied when he could. But however, his number one place was Atlantic Beach Pavilion. He attended that damn prep school in Chapel Hill. What's the name of it, Tommy? I don't remember. Anyway, he went from there to the Navy, was married, had a son, Charlie. Came back, went to dental school at that same prep school. I'm not going to tell you to go to him. He's a jawbreaker. No. he after finishing, he became part of the faculty at UNC Dental School. He's done very well with that. But he missed dancing. He went to Reds. He finally found Reds in Raleigh and the Bushes in Greensboro. So he frequented those and ended up back at North Myrtle Beach, Ocean Drive, whatever you want to call it. And he hit all the hot spots here, starting with Fat Jack's. He goes back to Fat Jack days. He did the pad and several other joints, actually all of them. He started going to competitions, and he kind of liked it, got into them himself, and became very, very good, did very well. You know, the big thing about it, though, he says, was his relationships. And when we look around this room, that's what it's all about, is relationships. And that's where he made them, with the dance. His most significant one, and lately, was Tanya. Mr. Frank Brantley.
I ain't gonna give this back to Sam because he will hurt me. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Wanda. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here tonight. This is unbelievable for me. First thing I would like to say is, wake up. No, all right, thank you, baby. Thank you. You know, back in the day, and I think my story is pretty much like most of you here. Back in high school, early days, I loved the music, I loved the dance, and I enjoyed it to the fullest capacity. As a matter of fact, my son, who is here tonight, Charlie, would you please stand up? I'm proud of him. This is my son. You guys did not know it. My son, who really doesn't know to this very moment that his existence on earth is largely responsible to little Anthony and Imperial. But, you know, like all of you guys, you know, ultimately adulthood smacks you right square in the mouth, and, you know, you got things like military service and education and job, and family, and trying to pay the mortgage, and so you kind of step away for a while. But thank God most of us have come back to our home, what we love. And when I did, you know, I kind of set some objectives because my mother and my job always demand that I had goals in my life. And so I kind of set some goals when I came back out. And my first goal was to meet the most interesting and wonderful people that I possibly could, because heretofore I had been talking about molars and drinking wine and cheese and crap like that. You know, and I thought there must be something better in life than that. And so I came back to shagging, and my goodness, did I meet the most wonderful people in the world. A lot of them very interesting, some of them kind of disgusting, but most of them I loved to death. I did. And so that was number one of my objectives. Number two of my objectives was I wanted to be a pro shagger. And I make no bones about that. I wanted to dance in competition, and if I could, I wanted to be a pro dancer. And so I went to the very best. I went to Phil Jones and Wes May, Jerry and Marilyn Burridge, Johnny Pee Wee Teal, Donnie Hodnett and Mike Pace. I even went all the way to Atlanta to work with the very great and wonderful Charlie Womble. Problem was I could never get Charlie to answer the door or answer the phone. Well, in spite of that, you know, I was able to, somehow I made it. So that was my second objective in life with respect to shagging. And my third one was I wanted to get kicked out of ducks. Now, wait, listen. I was sitting there, you know, as a young dancer, and I had been down to ducks, and I had watched, and, you know, some of the greats and some of the not-so-greats had taken to walk with Mr. Jones, you know, late night, and I thought to myself, dog, what a great way to get my name out on the beach here in Little Peyton Place, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, of course, that was, you know, that was kind of like tongue-in-cheek. I never went to ducks with the notion of getting thrown out. However, one night, it was like a bucket of gin and tonic and a bunch of lemon drops, and Mr. Jones made my dream come true. Hey, and guess what? My name was all over the beach the next morning. Seriously, folks, you know, those were my dreams relative to shagging. I had no idea that anything like this may ever happen in my life. And I am so excited. It's like we used to say down in North Carolina, I'm about to bust wide open. You know, I'm about to bust wide open. I want to thank the people that nominated me, the folks that voted for me, and I would really like to take this opportunity. You know, I have been in front of a podium for like 33 years. This is what I do for a living. I'm a dentist, I'm an educator, so I am not used to staying. It's not unusual for me to be up here for a couple of hours.
Get the hook. Get the hook. Get the hook.
All right, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to deal with all that. But what I want to do is take this opportunity to say thank you so much to the club owners, people that provide us a venue to go, to meet old friends, to meet new friends, and to dance. Sometimes it looks like they're making a bunch of money, but have you ever been to a shag club on a Tuesday night in October? It ain't exactly crowded, okay? And secondly, I would like to thank DJs. I'd like to thank all the DJs. You know, today, you cut me off? Today, all you got to do is have about $1,000. You can buy a laptop and 100,000 songs, and you can be a DJ. And we have certainly had some great ones come out of that venue. But what I'm talking about is the old school DJ. I'm talking about the guys and the girls who toted the 45s and the LPs and preserved the music that you can't buy on Amazon.com. And we got a couple of fine examples up here right now. Let me tell you a quick little story about Mr. Sid Pruitt. Many moons ago, during SOS, Sid was playing on the back patio of the pad. And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know, everybody was at that point where you're either too messed up or too tired to dance anymore. So you just kind of stood on the side and said, yeah, yeah. Well, he was pulling it out of, I'm talking about the box at the bottom. He was killing us. So the management comes out and they says, all right, Sid, cut it off. He kept right on drinking and right on playing. Second time, they came right out. They said, Sid, cut it off. He kept right on drinking and right on playing. Third time, they didn't ask. They cut the power off and it went, my brother, he had to pack up and leave in the dark. So, folks, I want to tell you, this means so much to me. I want to thank the folks that voted for me. I want to thank the folks that nominated me. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Tanya. The world famous Tata LaRue. She's been known to get kind of different at times. But seriously, not too long ago, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And at the time, they gave her a prognosis of not making it 5 years. Less than 50% chance to make it. Well, this past July, we celebrated her 5th year anniversary. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, 5 surgeries, 18 months of chemo. If anybody in the Brantley family deserves an award, it's that lady right there, and I'm so proud of her. I appreciate you guys listening to what I had to say. I'll tell you what the Hall of Fame means to me. What it means to me is that people that I have loved, admired, and respect over the years feel that in some small way I have contributed to the history and perpetuation of this dance and this lifestyle, and you can't take that away from me. That means more than anything else. Thank you.
Hot damn. You can tell he's a faculty member. I've never heard a dentist say anything with that, yeah. Thank you, Frank. His darling Tanya.
Every time I walk somewhere, I walk just like I'm blind. I'm late when I get there. I've lost all track of time. Won't somebody help me now and tell me what this is all about?
Frank Browne. Frankie. Frank, come on get your pic. We got your plaque.
And Frank, aren't you retiring, Frank? Aren't you retiring the end of the year? 31st of December, he's going to be retarded. This young lady was born and raised about 28 miles from my hometown. She's from Greenwood, South Carolina. She started dancing as a teen in the late 50s and 60s. She was only 6 then. She danced at the area places, and as she got older, she started going out of town. One of the places was Curry's Lake in Graycourt, South Carolina. And I know that y'all have heard of that little place quite often by reading some of the other bios. I used to go there, Billy Waldrop, Buzz Sawyer, just a bunch of us. I was from Lawrence, and I went there during the same time, but never met Judy. I wish our young people had a place like that, but those were a few years ago. She met her husband dancing and had 2 children, Karen and Mark, and 2 grandchildren, Lee and Ashley. Over the years of dancing, she found the Grand Strand and visited here often to dance at some of the great places down here. She lived in Columbia for many years and was one of the best-known dancers there. She moved to North Myrtle Beach in '94 and has danced every day she could since then. She's a member of the Living Legends, the National Living Legends, Columbia Hall of Fame, and Boys in the Band. She's been a very involved member of many shag clubs and taught many to dance. And Phyllis Tiller's back there saying something I can't understand her. And now she's a member of the Shaggers Hall of Fame. I'd like to welcome Miss Judy Rhodes.
I would just like to thank the Hall of Fame members, the late Chick Hedrick. I'm honored and excited and thrilled to be going into the Shaggers Hall of Fame. I love it. It's just been a thrill for many, many years. Thank you so much for all my friends and my family that I love so much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And thank you so much.
And I believe you're going to be dancing with your son Mark and your brother Scurry.
So
What a wench, I'm telling you. I love her to death. Judy, come back up here. What a gal. Okay, next guy we're going to talk about from Bleaksville, North Carolina. When he was a young man and you rode through there, you could hear a banjo and a guitar dueling. That's all I'm going to say about Bleaksville. Could be Deliverance, I don't know. Anyway, he was, spent his youth there, went to Army, spent 2 years there. Sort of reminds me of the comic strip Beetle Bailey. To your heart? He came home and worked as a lineman for 16 years. Shortly after he left, they got electricity there. In 1984, he met the love of his life and married her, Ann Shockley. Ann, what in the hell were you thinking about? They have a daughter, Lisa, granddaughter, Christina. He's been dancing since he was a kid. He's been around the dance life all his life. He and his sister he used to listen to her music, and then he started hanging out at the joints and learning to dance, and he became a pretty damn good dancer. Started teaching dance lessons. And around that area, he went to all the joints. I don't know why they let him in, but they did. Anyway, he relocated to North Myrtle Beach and like middle 90s. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, he opened, hanging around those joints, he opened his own joint, Stiggy's. Shh. But in the 90s, middle 90s, he moved down here and became one of our top chefs. He he worked at many of the elite restaurants. He managed a lot of our shag joints down here. Well, he was a dancer. He loves it. He's out there every day, sweating, dancing until he sweats everything's wet. And then he goes home because he knows Ann's gonna kick his panty. First haircut he's had in a long time was for this event. They trimmed it around the ears and cut both hairs off top. If you look at him real close, he's got a knot just about here. He tells me that he ran into something and knocked himself out. But Ann, I know that looks like a ball peen hammer to me, and I don't blame you. What a guy. A friend of mine, I call him the Foothills Flounder because he came from Foothills, and Hussey says you can't catch a flounder. But I do love him. God bless. And come up, Mr. Greg Stegall. got to be. All that's dollars. And you let him have a lot of money tonight.
I told him I'd
He's been
bring a
crying
box
for
of
weeks.
Kleenex. He can't find his paper. He's going to have to ad lib.
I want to thank everybody. This is not going to be easy. I love all of you, and I'm glad I'm in the Hall of Fame. And I want to thank Bill and Julianne Hussey for giving me such a nice party. And I can outfish him in the day of my life. And let me see, I'm going to dance with two people. I'm going to start off with the love of my life, Ann Stigall, a beautiful woman. Then I'm going to dance with another beautiful woman, if she will, dance with me now, with Montine Bridges. And thank you all so much, and I love you all. Thank you.
You're a good man. What a guy. What a guy. He's been begging me all week to go first.
He's been crying since March.
Just off and on every other day or every third day or 7 days in a row. Okay, that really concludes our inductions, but we have some great entertainment. And we're going to ask you, because of what we got and they don't have enough space, to push, if you will, anybody can push back. Tables, everything. I would like to ask one of my favorite gentlemen. He is a member of the Shaggers Hall of Fame, chairman of the National Shag Dance Contest, and has been forever. And a member of our Keepers of the Dance Committee, Mr. Barry Thigpen. What a gentleman.
Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate that. Point of personal privilege. First thing I like to say is I like to thank Shag Attack, or the Shaggers Hall of Fame, for being a sponsor of the National Shag Championships. They sponsor the Masters Division. I wish one thing that the Hall of Fame would do incorporated was anybody who goes in the Hall of Fame, the year they go in, they have to be in the Masters Division. Don't y'all think that's a good idea? I do too. I do too. Two other points of personal privilege. Number one of your inductees tonight worked 16 years with the National Shag Dance Championship Committee, and that's Miss Dreama Osborne. She didn't mention it, but we do appreciate it, darling. Thank you very much. And the other one is one of your dancers tonight. He's the tall guy who's one of your newest inductees to the Keepers of the Dance. Alan, we've been trying to make this day special for Alan. And we told him today was National Alan Day. And that we treated him with great respect all day today, and tomorrow it goes back to the normal. But anyway, if y'all can, move those chairs back, because we really need as much space as we can. We don't want anybody to get kicked, and then we don't want any of the dancers certainly to get hurt. We took a year's leave last year, but we're back now. And with that, I want to introduce to you the 2012 and 2013 National Shag Dance Championships under the direction of Autumn Jones and Jeff Hargett. Thank you.
Loneliness won't leave me alone. Listen, 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, way time.